Welcome to 10 Minutes with Tony Scott. I'm Tony Scott and really appreciate you tuning into today's show. Today's show is sponsored by Tommy's Chicago's Pizza. Tommy's is in Mendota Heights on Dodd Road and Highway 110. They have a great all-you-can-eat buffet for lunch. My favorite is their Chicago-style deep dish pizza. Tommy's is also a great caterer for team parties, banquets, and business functions. In addition to great pizza and catering, Tommy's is a big supporter of youth hockey at both the association level and now at the off-season AAA level. Tommy's will sponsor this year's elite MCC teams at the AAA level. That organization is really on the rise. I can't wait to see their teams this spring and summer. On today's show, we were lucky to have Matt Hapola from General Sports to talk a little bit about why visiting General Sports is a great idea when you're about to make a skate purchase. We're joined today with Matt Hapola from General Sports. Thanks for joining me, Matt.
Thanks for having me.
Matt is a skate expert. He's also the general manager of the store. After spending 10 years at the store, Matt has been a great asset to my family and several other families in the southwest suburbs. Having two Edina stores, I'm sure you have lots of customers from all over the Twin Cities that come there. He's a great skate fitter. He's a great guy. I'm always smarter when I leave the store as a result of talking to Matt. So Matt's going to be here to try to help us get a little bit smarter on skates.
Well, it's good to be here. I appreciate you taking the time to have me on. I'd love to help.
All right, so here we go. So let's talk a little bit about getting skates fitted. I've had my son in there 3 times, had bought 3 separate skates with you guys. I'd like to know, what is the process? I mean, because for me, it's always about 2 hours, but we leave with a great skate, a great fit, and a great price. Tell me a little bit about why it's important to come to General Sports to get your skates fitted there.
Well, one of the things that, like you mentioned, we do a good job of is we take the time to make sure that you're getting into the right equipment and the right skate, especially for your budget, your player's performance, and especially the foot shape. The fit of the skate is absolutely imperative. It relates directly to how the player performs on the ice. Now, we want to make sure that if your kid has a narrow heel and a wide ball of his foot, and we're gonna get him in the right skate for that. If he has a wide heel and a wide ball of the foot, there's a different skate for that. And we're gonna take the time to educate everybody on exactly how the different manufacturers are cutting their skates and what foot shape they're tailoring their skates towards to make sure that you get in the right boot for your foot. Your foot shape can be as unique as your fingerprint, and everybody's got a different foot. So to slam everybody into 1 or 2 models of skates can be difficult.
Let's talk a little bit about that. I would guess, just based on talking to you, that the biggest issue is kids are coming in with skates that are too big, or they want to buy skates that are too big. Why don't you want to have skates that are too big? Well,
skate blades are 2 to 3 millimeters wide. Your body weight is all used to walking around on your foot, however wide your foot is. Walking and running on a foot is a much more stable thing to do than skate on a 2 millimeter steel. If you want to focus all your body weight down to 2 millimeters and then do some of the edge work that we're requiring of you to do a 2-foot power turn where your body angle might be at 45 degrees off the ice, that skate's got to fit like it's a body part, not like a piece of equipment you've tied on your foot. If it fits like a body part, you're going to have much more response. And I know that a lot of parents are worried about the longevity of the skate, making sure it's an expensive piece of equipment. It's probably the most expensive and the most important piece of equipment in all of sports. And they don't want to make that purchase too often. It's very expensive, and just playing hockey is expensive. But I'd rather fit you in a tight-fitting skate and work with you and stretch it out. And as the kid grows, make sure that we continue to service that skate, make sure that it continues to go with you. And then you're going to end up with 6 months more out of each pair of skates. And on top of that, your kid's going to be skating better the entire time, too.
My takeaway, you just brought up 2 things. My takeaway was we were able to, through education with you, make sure those skates got dry to ensure the longevity of it. We also were able to expand the skates. So instead of thinking, well, that year, we're only going to get 1 year or 6 months or a year out of that skate, we ended up getting 18 to 24 months out of that skate. A, by taking care of it properly. Right. B, by getting another pair of blades in there, because that was relatively inexpensive. We ended up getting 2 years out of 1 pair of skates, where we were spending, previous to that, we were getting skates every 6 months.
Right, and we definitely fit that skate on the money too. It was a nice, tight-fitting pair of skates, and like I said, I've spent $3,000 over the years on boot stretching devices where I can take a skate and make it a full size longer. You've experienced that. we can make them wider if the pinky toe or the big toe side of your foot is too tight in there. I'd rather make it wider than get you a skate that's overall bigger and have your kid not be able to get into the right posture that's necessary to skate properly. And the number one issue that I run into is skates are always fitted too big. We make sure that we fit skates shorter and narrower to make sure that, again, it feels like a body part.
I would say you guys are more like the skate Nazis when it comes to getting them too small. It's like, man, that thing just seems so tight.
But we're actually working on some video with a couple of our different skating instructors that we've partnered with over the years, where we're going to have before and after footage of kids that are skating on too big of skates and kids that are skating on skates that are fitted properly by us, and you're going to be able to see side-by-side comparisons, and it's incredible.
All right, we got a pair right here, a new skate that's coming out. Let's talk a little bit about that one.
Yep, that's the Vapor 1X. That's the top of the line from Bauer. This series is going to launch in April here, April 25th. A couple quick updates to that skate. It's got a new liner on the inside, made of 37.5 technology. It's a fiber that actually evaporates moisture. We've all heard of moisture wicking in the past, right. And then Under Armour spreads the moisture out and it evaporates on its own quickly, or more quickly because of that. This material actually has an element in it that, as the moisture hits it, it heats up and evaporates the sweat for you. So the liner on that skate, speaking about keeping your skates dry, this skate should dry out way faster than anything else that's been on the market. They put a new blade on it as well. This is the LS4 skate blade. That's new to the market this year. It's got a better quality steel and improved radius on it. And it should hold an edge longer and be less prone to breakage. A lot of these steels have.
What's the suggested manufacturer's retail price on that car?
That's going to be
that is a car. It is a car.
You could at least get a Pinto for that. It's $849.99.
$849.99. Well, that's good.
And they'll have a price point all the way down to $59.99 for an adult skate. So you'll have a wide variety of price points based on different components and different structural stuff. But for the most part, that's going to be a narrow fitting boot. It's going to fit a shallow instep and a flatter foot really well.
So, in summary, let's just see if I got this right. If you take care of the skate and you get the right blade, you can maybe last 18 to 24 months on one pair of skates.
I've seen that happen. I've seen a lot of high school, especially female athletes. I've seen some high school female athletes get an entire high school career out of one pair of skates.
Because their foot stops growing when they're 13 versus when they're 17.
Those are the ones that, like you've known, we've taught you, those are the ones that are diligent about getting their skates out of the bag, drying them out. And that's the kind of stuff, those little finer points of this stuff is what we're going to help you through and kind of educate you on it, General.
Well, good deal. We're going to have Matt in here a few different times during the year to talk a little bit about whether it be skate fitting or new products or whatever it might be regarding whatever General Sports has. We really appreciate you jumping in the studio on last minute notice. Appreciate it. It's going to be a fun time having Matt on the show.
Excellent.
Thanks, Matt, for taking time out of your busy day and coming into the studio. There's no one smarter on the equipment side than Matt and his team at GS. We're very excited about next week's Warrior Cup. Some great teams from all over the metro and a few from up north. The Colorado Kodiaks are also coming in from Denver. Wyatt will be there to cover it from cover to cover. Scores, articles, and broadcasts from championship games on Sunday. YHH will also name an all-tournament team and tournament MVP for all of the events we do. There will be a link on the top of YHH that will eventually lead you to all of the important tourney information, scores, brackets, scoring leaders, and goalie leaders. Every once in a while, we like to do a trivia question here on the show. Today, we're going to do two, one now and one later on in the show. The first giveaway is the Shock Doctor Nano Gel Mouthguard, which retails for about $19.99 at any good store. Here's the question. What former Duluth East star coached the Duluth East Pee Wee AA team to the state this past March in Woodbury? Email your answer to youthhockeyhub@gmail.com. The first correct time-stamped answer we receive via email will have their prize mailed out to them. Today we have a big segment devoted to Now prospects. Two Now prospects had their dreams come true last week. Now prospects Scott Perunovich from Hibbing and Grant Mismatch from Edina both made Division I commitments. First, on Tuesday, Mismatch committed to North Dakota, and then on Wednesday, Perunovich gave his pledge to UMD. A big week for the NCHC on the ice was followed by two big Minnesota gets off the ice. Two other Now prospects made news when Mikey Anderson, a UMD commit and 2018 Now prospect, signed a tender with the USHL's Waterloo Blackhawks and 2017 Now prospect and Maine commit Bubba Thompson signed with Des Moines in the USHL. These tenders are likely response to those two not getting invites to the National Development Program in Ann Arbor. In other Now prospect news, YHH is hearing that the 3 Now prospects are headed to Ann Arbor to take part in the National Development Program next year. Uncommitted Nate Konepke from Lakeville, U of M recruit Scott Reedy, and UND recruit Grant Mismatch are all likely headed to Michigan next season. As we said via Twitter, each of our Now prospect pages are slowly being filled with great stats on all the players in our database. We will take any verified stats we can get. Those submissions can be sent to us via email at youthhockeyhub@gmail.com. Today we are unveiling a new member to the 2017 Now prospect list. Rochester Mayo sophomore Anthony Oliveto, the 98 big man, had 26 goals and 16 assists for the Spartans last season. Congrats to Anthony on a great season, and congrats to him on making our list. Finally, our Now Prospects Combine in June is filling up nicely. On Friday, we plan on sending out a few more invites to fill out the last unaccepted invites. If you've been invited, please do so by Friday. On Friday, it will become a first-come, first-sign-up process after that. Okay, the first trivia question was easy. This one is going to be a little harder. The correct answer to this question wins a $20 gift card to Tommy Chicago's in Mendota Heights. Here we go. This team is one I will never forget. They were not in our staff rankings till late in the 2012 season, and then they won the state Bantam-B title in 2012. They ran the table in districts, regions, and state. I'll give you a little hint. They play out of District 11 and have a Hobie Baker Award winner from their high school. Who is this team? Same rules apply. Send an email to youthhockeyhub@gmail.com via email. The first timestamp winner will receive a prize. This week's Tweet of the Week comes from Minneapolis Bantam Jake Hale. The 01 power forward had a winner tweet when he says, "Sorry girls, my mom's the only girl that can wear my jersey at my hockey games." Gotta love it. The kid is a terror on the ice, but still a mama's boy. If we had sound effects here in the studio, I'd probably cue up the awe effect right now. All of our tweets can be found on Twitter at @YouthHockeyHub. Boom Roasted. This week's Boom Roasted is a rare one that goes out to a youth player instead of a parent or an adult, who on a couple of occasions during the Super Series decided it would be cute to belt out a whistle noise not once but twice during a game in order to distract his team's opponent to slow their 2-on-1 breaks. Okay, I get it. Everyone wants to win, and for some, the Super Series is a big deal. But here's what I don't get. How can a coach or a kid who gets busted once ever possibly think about doing it again? Most times I roast the coach in this situation. This coach in all likelihood had no idea what was going on. Coaching the Super Series or selects is like herding cats. Probably didn't know the players or the player that well. The kid who did it was a second-year peewee. He knew better. Boom Roasted to him. It's not even the slightest bit cute. Thumbs up. Thumbs up to my family for a great week of vacation last week. It was great not being Tony Scott for a week and hanging out and just being a fool. Speaking of fools, huge thanks to our readers who enjoyed our Edina is splitting into two associations story on April Fool's Day. It was all in fun. Glad no one got too wound up. Thumbs up for those two things. Thanks to Matt Happela for coming in today and sharing his thoughts about skate fitting. Thanks to our sponsor today, Tommy Chicago's, for their support of YHH. And thank you for tuning in to today's show. We will see you around the rink.